All right, well, I am slightly thrilled to be up here. So thank you, Dave, for asking me to speak numerous times that I have declined so far, and eventually I had to say yes. So here I am. Speaking in front of people is like not my favorite thing at all. Makes me so anxious, but I love hearing stories from everyone here in the room, and you guys have all shared. So I'm like, well, I have to do it. So if I haven't had a chance to meet you guys yet, my name is Ilsa Chigrow. I am the Life Church 360 Outreach Director, which is in Smoky Point. I recently joined Rotary again. I was in the club 4 years ago and have come back. So here is my very brief talk. I do have to go off of notes because I will be all over the place if I don't. So I was born and raised on Vashon Island, which is a small island in the Puget Sound. My parents and most of my extended family still live there. I'm the oldest child and have a younger brother who's 3 years younger than me. I graduated from Vashon High School in '97, and I had a class size, is really small there, class size of about 100 students. 80 of us went to school from kindergarten on up with each other. So you pretty much knew everyone. After high school, I went to Jean Juarez Academy. I was married by 23, had my first child at 24, followed by 3 more children. I have 3 beautiful daughters who are 18, 17, and 13, and 1 crazy little 5-year-old boy. Over the past 2 years, I've experienced going through a separation, which ended in a divorce. But now I'm kind of trying to reevaluate life, figuring out where I'm at, and just seeing what's next for me. Over the very brief, other than my very brief time that I spent at Jean Juarez, I have had a number of different jobs, never done post-high school education, so just all over the place with different career choices. I've had many roles at Life Church 360. So they laugh because they like give me a key and then I turn it back in and then they give it to me again. And this time they're like, you just can't turn it back into us. I have had some volunteer positions, some paid positions, been there since 2010. I have so far to date been the nursery director, janitor, office manager, outreach director, twice now, board member, which I still serve on, MOPS coordinator, and women's coordinator. Some other jobs that I have had have been a store manager for a home decor store, and I was an interior design consultant for Three Sisters Vintage on Camano Island. I redid furniture and sold it there and on my own as well. I was a luxury yacht builder for Jennings Yachts in Anacortes. I was a kitchen store manager at Kitchen and Things in Ballard. And I was a professional organizer for a period of time. So just various homes that I had worked with clients doing that. And currently I just started doing my hours to get my realty license. So had to apply for an extension and I have to do 90 hours within a few months. So that'll be fun to balance that and everything else. So as I mentioned, I grew up on Vashon Island. The island, you have to take a ferry there. So it's either West Seattle or Tacoma. You get there by ferry. My parents still live in the same house and 10 acres of farmland that they were when I grew up. And the top left picture is their house. The bottom picture looking out the water is my cousin's house, and view from the ferry. This far one is me when I was little on my grandma's beach, and me in high school in tennis. Growing up on the island, it's so remote. It's 14 miles long and 7 miles wide. It's a very small island. It was the worst thing ever. I thought it was just, you don't get to see anyone. There's nothing to do. We had one movie theater that played movies like a good 5 weeks after everyone else had movies come out. So it was just so remote that it was not fun at all. As an adult, it is like the best place to go because it is so remote and so peaceful and you don't have to worry about seeing any people. So I definitely appreciate it now, did not appreciate it all then. These are my kids. Genesis is my oldest. She is 18, graduated high school last June from Stanwood High School. Gracie is almost 17 in a few weeks. She is a junior at Lakewood High School. Hannah is 13 and is in 8th grade at Stanwood Middle School. And Asher is 5 and just starting his first year kindergarten at Cedar Home Elementary. And then this is just a few more pictures, my kids, bonus kids that are always around our family. This is at my daughter's graduation party. I included this because to me, friendships are super important. They are something that I have high value on in my life. I have this group of 5 women here have been able to feed into my life as I've been able to feed into theirs. We walk through the most challenging parts of life together and celebrate all of our victories in life together. So I've always been really great at connecting with people. I enjoy just making friendships, but also that tight group of like really close friendships. I really like getting to know people on more than a surface level. So getting to know your story, more about you and who you are. And I consider it such an honor when someone is vulnerable enough to where they are willing to share their story with me. For 7 years, I was the women's coordinator at Life Church 360. I did planning retreats, conventions, women's expos, and holding fundraisers. Again, just part of connecting with other people, connecting with women. It was just completely my thing. Now I've gone into a new season, so it's not so much a passion of mine anymore, but at the time it was really fun. I've been the women's area lead for our church's denomination, which oversaw and connected multiple women's ministries in different churches in all of Snohomish County. And I've also participated in and coordinated our MOPS group at Life Church 360 of about 50 moms. MOPS is Mothers of Preschoolers. So it's like a group for pretty much if you had a kid from like birth to kindergarten. It's a mom's group. So this picture here, this is the last women's retreat that I was able to lead. I am ultra pregnant in the front row, about a few weeks away from having my youngest child. The next one is our MOPS leadership team on our retreat in Leavenworth. And this quote just really spoke to me. I think that I think it's really important to be able to see value in other people and to encourage other people to do the same, to build each other up and not be in competition with each other, but to respect what other people have done. For many years, I, like many other moms, felt like I had kind of lost myself to motherhood, losing sight of who I was as an individual. So over the past few years, I've started to gain that back by pursuing health in all areas of my life. I really enjoy working out and eating healthy. Taking care of my spiritual, emotional, and mental health is very important to me. Someday, I hope to get back to this again. The picture of me and my daughter up there, we used to do writing lessons together and it was so much fun, but life just got crazy and busy and don't have time for it right now, but someday I will be doing that again. And then something that I always enjoy, I will take every opportunity possible, is event planning and party planning. And I enjoy floral design. So this was all from my daughter's graduation party, but stuff that I love to do for just about any party possible. So pretty much everyone could say that 2020, 2021 was a year of incredible challenges and struggles. For me, really wasn't any different. This was the season that my life had changed the most drastically. In August of 2019, my husband and I separated after 18 years of marriage. And by August of 2020, our divorce had become final. Although this was by far the hardest thing I've ever imagined facing in life, through it, I grew closer to God than I had ever in my whole life. It solidified those in my life that were there for me through thick and thin. Through the adversity I had to face, it grew me into a stronger person who in turn has helped me to be able to walk through others with similar struggles. I've had so many people come to me with similar story than mine, just because on one-on-one conversation, I had shared that with them. and just to be able to be there and listen to someone as they need to share with me. It's been really cool. This quote hit me really deep when I read it, because so often we have our whole life planned out, what we think it's going to look like, what our expectations are in life, and you don't know. You don't know what's going to take a turn, what's going to be, better for your life than you'd ever imagined, but it wasn't part of your original plan. I think that for me as a Christian, I need to be open to what God has planned for me in my life, because it's not always the picture of what I think it's going to look like. It could be better. It could be different. Even though this was really hard transition to do all this, I was really fortunate that the church was once again hiring when I needed a job. So I was hired on as the office manager, somewhat kind of in the middle of my separation. And I did that role for about a year. It was a good job. I had the skills, the talents to do the job, but it was not my calling at all. Sitting behind a desk and putting information on the computer is not my place. So I went to my boss, talked to him, and I said, I really like you guys. I like that you offered me a job and everything, but I've got to get back to doing something else that's outreach related, because I need the connection with people. Relationship building, community involvement is huge for me. And so I was able to transition back into my outreach director position. And it worked perfectly, as we had different shifts and other people changing jobs at the church, that I was able to switch back into my role. And I have been loving it. Through my role, my new role now, I have been able to re-engage with community members, people I had connected with previously. Peggy is someone that I have always worked with in the past doing outreach stuff, and it is so nice to be able to connect with her again. Even though we're friends anyways, we would still connect, but being able to do stuff in the community together has been really great. As a church also, we had to be flexible. The past year, we've had many mandates, revisions, how we have to do social interactions. And so one of our phases, we had to move from not having church at all in our building, having it on Zoom, and then doing drive-in church. And so the bottom right is me and one of my closest friends doing drive-in church for the church. So then, as if my life was not complicated enough in this past year, I also had to take on a remodel project. So I have a 100-year-old farmhouse, which needed some work, also had to be refinanced so the house could switch from my ex-husband's name into my name. And so the bank said, well, you got to finish your work. I had torn the whole thing apart. And so had an amazing team of people come in and help. Some people I hadn't even met, like they just showed up at my house for a work party and were like, we're here to work, I can do this, this, or this. So here's a few pictures of all the work that we had done on the house. Up to this point so far, I had done a ton of demo work. I've removed layers of flooring, carpets, took out walls, removed drywall, like 50 years worth of wallpaper on top of wallpaper. It's like old school too. It's not the new stuff. It's stuck to the wood on my wall. The team of people here, they had to cut out areas of my floor, like all the way like down through the subfloor and everything, replaced joists, replaced the subfloor, put up huge support beams. We took down walls. So in this process, I have now learned how to install flooring, do subway tile backsplash, sheetrock, mud and tape, which I would highly recommend hiring someone for that job because it's horrible.
I gotta do that.
And then create custom countertops. So in addition to that, I'm also a pro at navigating myself through Lowe's. So if you guys need help finding anything in that store, I've probably been there a good 200 times over this last year. I know where everything is in there at this point. Here's a few more pictures of this process, me staining the countertops, the finished product down here, and a few shots of the kitchen. It's not done yet, but this is kind of through the process, what it's looking like. Still have a lot to do, but have probably done more so far than still has to be done. And then this is one of our upstairs rooms. This house had the ugliest decor in it when we got it. So One of our rooms has this reddish orange, like low nap, nasty carpet in it. My daughter wanted it for her room, and I was like, oh, there's no way I'm sticking her in there. Like, this stuff's so gross. So ripped that out, sanded, refinished the floors, stained them, sealed them, redid her whole bedroom set and everything. And now she had an enjoyable room. And then one of the other many ventures that I have done has been redoing furniture. So I've done custom pieces for clients, many pieces that I have refinished on my own. And these are the only pictures that I have on my computer that I could find. So a few of those. As I was going through this presentation with my boss, I was like, okay, give me some feedback. And so I'm going through this, and he was like, okay, you need to explain a little bit more about your outreach stuff and like why you do outreach. And he said, who you are, I would describe you as a connector. He said, every aspect of your life is about connecting people together for the common good of the community. I was like, yeah, that's pretty accurate. This is why outreach is a passion for me, because I love connecting people together. I love helping meet needs, and I love giving people the opportunity to serve and feel like they can give back to our community and be invested in the community that we live in. I also love the fact that it just gives us a chance to come together. So us as a church, for Life Church 360, we never want to do like something that's just like an event for us. Like, we would love to partner with other churches and other organizations and businesses. So it's not about us or our title or what we're doing, but it's about all of us working together and seeing like, okay, what's a huge need out there that we can't do on our own, that if we all work together, we could do it. So during the beginning of the pandemic, Convoy of Hope, it's a nonprofit organization out of the Midwest. They're an international organization that does feeding programs. They do disaster relief in a lot of different areas. They contact us and said, hey, would you guys like a semi truck full of groceries? So we're like, sure. Their shelves are like completely empty in the stores of groceries, and there's a lot of people in serious need right now. So we got this semi truck delivered to us. The only catch was like, we can't really tell you when it's going to get there until the day before it gets there. So if you could get a team of people together, and then we'll give you 24 hours notice that we're showing up. So within the span of 3 days, we had over 150 volunteers. We packed and hand out 1,325 bags of groceries that we were able to give away to 710 families in our area. We did like a drive-in style. So they just drove up and picked up the groceries. There wasn't having to be a lot of contact with other people. As well as the surplus of food that we got, we're able to donate stuff to the Arlington Community Resource Center through Peggy. We were able to bring stuff to the Arlington Food Bank, and then also send stuff out to the Darrington Food Bank. So it was cool that not only did we get so much that we could bless these families, but that we had the surplus that we could give away as well to share with the rest of the community. This event, like I said, it's a multi-church event. It was so many people coming together, generous hearts that just really wanted to serve and give. And it was right in the middle of the pandemic. So people are like, what can we do? Like, there's people around us that are in need. We don't know what to do, but somehow if there's an opportunity to be able to do something, we would like to do it. So seeing all those people show up just to help was really cool. And then 2 other events that I have been a part of, just to highlight these 2, would be the Day of Hope in 2017 and the Back to School celebration in 2021. And the Day of Hope was a 1-day event. It offered goods and services to those in need in Snohomish County. We had everything from dental vans, haircuts, shoes, meals and stuff that we were handing out. And we had this at the Arlington Airport, served 2,800 guests, which took almost 1,300 volunteers to make that one happen. We handed out 4,000 hot meals that day for lunch, gave away 4,900 bags of groceries. We prayed with 1,100 people and had 6 people begin their life with Jesus that day. Quite a few of you were actually part of the event, and much of our town was involved with the event, whether they were at the event itself, preparation before it happened, or just had some part that you were able to contribute to that. And then a month ago, we put on the Back to School celebration, which I talked about. A lot of you guys were a part of that as well in some level. We gave away backpacks, school supplies. We hosted various organizations that had services to be able to help people in need. it was kind of a very quickly thrown together an event that we would like to see happen again, but with more planning this next time. So this year's event was only Arlington School District for the back to school celebration. Next year, we are hoping to extend our service area to Darrington, Lake Stevens, Granite Falls, Stanwood, and Arlington, and not to be address specific. So if there are people even outside of that that need something, I mean, if they're willing to come to us and say, hey, I need a backpack, they're putting some effort and they really need some help. So our goal would be to expand beyond just backpacks, offering more goods and services similar to what our Convoy of Hope event was, so that we can really fill those needs, take the burdens off of families before the school year starts. So it's one less thing that they have to think about. And in preparation for that, we're kind of putting together a community team so that we won't just be planning that event, but our community team will be hoping to fill needs in our community throughout the year. So we can go to the schools and say, hey, do you guys need help with snacks right now? Or do you need help with, do you have students that need to have their name put like on a Christmas tree to receive gifts during the holidays? Do you have students that need coats right now? So that we can be that constant contact with the community and with our schools to say, what kinds of needs can we continue to meet? We currently have multiple churches that are working together for Arlington. We provide snacks for the Arlington School District, and each of our churches has a different school that we bring snacks in. We're seeking to do the same thing for Lakewood School District. They don't have something like that set up yet. And so we'd really like to see something like that happen. So that is a little bit, or a lot, however you want to look at it, a little bit about me. And even though I don't like speaking in front of people, I am a really open book. I love talking to people more one-on-one, but that's what I got.
Why two school districts, Stanwood and Lakewood?
What's that?
Why do your kids go to two different school districts?
My 17-year-old lives with her dad, and he lives on Lake Goodwin, and the other ones live with me. So they're in Stanwood.
I think this question is on Adrian's behalf. Will you join the service committee?
I already have
All
joined
right,
the service
perfect.
committee. I talked to Adrian about it last week.
So I'm excited.
What does it mean to be a personal organizer? Like, what do you do to do that for people?
So you go
For
in
those of
someone's
us that need help.
house and you walk in and you're like, oh, you've really ordered a lot from Amazon this past year. Maybe we need some bins to put that in. So it just depends on the person. I've gone to people's houses and just help with like just their garage. I've gone to people's houses and, you know, sometimes they say, I want you to do everything. Like you just come in, you buy the stuff that you need, you do everything. And sometimes it'll be, okay, here's some tasks for you for the week. This is what you can work on. I'll come back next week and we'll go through this area. So kind of just going through room by room, how to make it flow better and work better and get rid of a bunch of stuff.
How much time do you spend doing that versus what you're doing at the church?
Doing which?
Organizing people's homes.
I don't currently organize people's homes anymore. My home, a lot. Other people's homes, not so much, but I can help you if you need help.
Help is not even.
It is like such a challenge for me. I see people's places and I'm like, yes, this is going to be so much fun. Although I make everyone get rid of so much stuff. I am like a huge like, oh, just take it all to Goodwill.
Okay,
So if you're willing to get rid of stuff, I'll help you.
does you or anybody else follow the orderly space in Bellingham?
The which what?
The orderly space?
No.
Okay, check her out on Instagram. Lots of my clients have used her. Just the kitchen is 10 grand. Just that. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I am
So,
not that
like if you want a
expensive.
second job, just saying.
I've been on most of the islands in Puget Sound, but I've not been to Vashon. Is there like a town? How big is the town?
There's a town, there's 2 grocery stores, a few restaurants, and a theater and 2 ferry talks. There is a fire department, I think. I'm not even sure if there
I
is.
think there has to be.
There probably has to be. I've never seen them. There's volunteer fire department. I know that. They have a medical office there and they airlift everyone off of the island.
I just want to know what your next outreach program project is.
Let's see here, hoping to work with Adrian, seeing what we got for service project kind of stuff. And then I would say probably what we do at Christmas time. So I've talked to Mel about doing some stuff with Housing Hope. We will work with a few other organizations in the community doing, we have like Christmas trees that we put tags on for individual children to purchase stuff for. Thanksgiving, usually like Thanksgiving baskets or something like that, food baskets for people. Kind of where we're at right now. We will start meeting our back to school rally group. We'll actually start meeting next week. So we'll kind of map out our vision of like, what do we want to do for this next year? Who do we want to bring on board? And where do we see us throughout the year? Not just planning that, but like intermediate things that are going to happen. You good? All right. Thank you, guys.